We will call this November 2nd Brown County Commission meeting to order. Commissioner Sutton, will you lead the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning.
Good morning.
First item on the agenda, to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second. Moved by Sutton, second by Thacker to approve the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, we have Scott Mattson, GIS Coordinator, GIS Data Acquisition and Pricing Policy. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Brought your assistant with you?
You betcha. He's the boss.
Well, a couple weeks ago, Gene and I and Kathy and Commissioner Weiss, I think it was just Board of it, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, we just had a quick meeting to go over how we process GIS data requests, service requests, and thought it was time to do some updating to some of that, including the price structure of how we make our data available. So just a very quick recap. When I came here 16 years ago now it's been, we had to basically rebuild the GIS, and one of the largest undertakings was our land parcels. And that had about an $80,000 cost at that time. And it was decided after reviewing here, and actually I'll pass this out. Pause 1 second. Okay, there's two forms, if you could just each take one and give one to Jeanette. After reviewing how other counties handle their data requests and whether they charge for data or not, we just kind of created our own price structure similar to what other counties were using for the sale of GIS data. It was just to help recoup some of that initial cost of building the GIS data and the ongoing expense of maintaining it. What prompted...
There's just one piece, right?
No, there's two. There's two different ones.
Second.
I sent them around in opposite directions.
Hold on, Richard, hold on.
We get easily confused.
One starts with GIS services and data requests, the other has the product.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll tell you that the one that says GIS services is the one that I'm presenting for approval. The one that has the data pricing as of 1/1/21 is actually the old stuff. And so what prompted the meeting is I had a gentleman request our GIS data in GIS format, but he's also a Beacon subscriber. And of course we use Beacon to host our GIS data, but more importantly to tie in the equalization CAMA data along with it to serve that out. And it's not uncommon, I guess, for somebody to have a subscription to Beacon and also want the data. But he brought up a point that I thought was valid, that if somebody's already subscribing to Beacon, that perhaps there should be some kind of an allowance given towards the purchase of the data, you know, if basically a discount. Well, so I wanted to revamp basically how we did the pricing on data anyhow. You know, over the course of the last 30 years, and this would be towards the back of the packet that starts with the standard products and data pricing. Kathy had printed out just for the last 5 years that she had how much income charging for data had brought in. Data and maps, find that one.
Blue on it?
Yeah, it's blue on
Blue and
my sheet,
white.
gray on yours, yeah. And so it's about $10,000 over the last 5 years, and I would estimate total it's been about $30,000 over the last 15. So from different companies that want to buy the GIS data outside Beacon. There is a push, of course, statewide, nationwide, to try and bring those costs down and even make data more freely available. I don't disagree with that. After having our discussion on 2 weeks ago, the group decided it was probably time to bring those costs down to try and entice more people, I guess, to acquire that data, but still to keep a small fee for doing that. And so then that brings us to the 3 new forms that starts with GIS services and data request. The primary one that I've updated is the actual pricing structure, but I went through all 3, brought them up to date. So the first form is if somebody wants to acquire our GIS services or data, they fill out this form and submit it to me so that I know the nature of their request, make sure that they're not just gonna buy it and resell it to others, that sort of thing. Ties in with our ordinance that I'm not updating anything to today. The only thing I've changed on this first form is at the very bottom, it says for GIS department use only. That used to have places in there for me to get other departments like Gene's to sign off on that request. I found that that's really not necessary anymore. You know, that originally the thought was, well, it's not my data, I'm selling it to the county, so I want other departments that have a say in it to have their say. But I just took that part out where now it's more streamlined, just so I can approve of it and process that request. So the second page is the main one that I went through and updated based off of the group's discussion. Again, if you refer back to the old pricing structure dated 1/1 of '21, you'll see that, like, for parcels and roads, there are different ways they could purchase it. They could get it just for the city, or they could get it just rural, with or without attributes. And then there was a renewal fee that went along with it. Basically, what we're doing here is we're cutting down the price of all 3 roads, address points, and parcels to $500 per year. And if they want to renew that after 12 months, it's the same fee. So they're basically paying the renewal fee that they used to pay up front. So we're drastically reducing that upfront cost. Same price for all 3 of those, because all 3 of those are really the primary ones that take a lot of time for us to maintain, and the ones that really have value. All the others would basically just be given away, you know, upon request, but they're ones that are the state has access to a lot of that data. They can go right to the state website, download a lot of that same information. The third line about Beacon is just taking basically what Gene supplied to me, pre-tax what the cost is for subscriptions to Beacon versus tax, just like there would be on the data sales. And then the fourth, or the fifth line rather, just saying that basically if they're current Beacon subscriber, they'll get a discount up to their subscription rate, but not exceeding that. And so if they say buy 2 layers, that'd be $1,000 purchase, and if they're a multi-person subscriber at $720, you know, they'd only owe $280. If they have 1 to 5 user subscription of 300, they'd owe $700 plus tax. Should be pretty basic, easy for them to understand, easy for me to process. I think we're at that point now where not as critical trying to recover some of those costs. And then the standard, oh, go ahead.
So effectively, whatever is paid toward whatever is paid toward Beacon would be a credit toward purchase of his discount.
Yeah. And they could look at it, probably another way too is, you know, it's an advantage to, if they're buying the data already, maybe they want a subscription to Beacon. You know, buying the data does not get them an automatic subscription to Beacon, but it works the other way around.
Are the people that are subscribed to Beacon typically the people or entities requesting this information?
No, not necessarily,
Okay.
but it might now make it where some of those want it. Not everybody has a GIS
Right.
type of software that they can utilize this data within.
Right.
That's what Beacon does for them. Typically, the requests in the past have come from platting companies that make the big plat books, from companies that, I don't know, I guess, if I could say exactly what they do with it, but most of them are working in line with platting type of.
Utility companies?
Yeah, utilities too, sorry, I just had a little bit of a brain fog there. You know, utility companies will get it. We sold it to I'd say, probably 3 or 4 different utility companies that have utilized it.
If we offer Beacon along with that, we may get some repeat business for the Beacon thing if we find that thing.
So there is probably some overlap there.
Sure.
the mapping fees, I just wanted to update that as well. Basically, same prices as what we've always charged for printing out and creating maps. The only thing I changed is I bumped the customization fee up to $80 an hour from 65. You know, I don't have any desire to be competitive with anyone local who can do this for the taxpayers. It's just that I don't want to be cheaper, so that they're coming to me to do the work that a private vendor can do. So, if they need a certain map made that we don't have as a standard product, then that customization fee applies. A couple minor changes in media, you know, just in the cost and what we'll accept for media that, you know, no longer will we take like open flash drives kind of thing. If they want to bring a flash drive for data, it's got to be a CSV flash drive. So we don't have any problem with what's on their flash drives. And then the last page is basically a repeat of that map product, but this is the form that we would actually fill out and give to the treasurer's office if they were purchasing a map product. So that's, I guess, what I'm submitting for your approval to update. It's what's in that packet of those three forms. And
You did check into what would happen if Beacon hosted, or if we upload a separate Beacon and Beacon could they could download specifically from the Beacon site. Beacon would give us a $1,080 setup fee to do that. They would charge us another $26.40 annually as part of that service to be downloadable. That's probably not money well spent in that it doesn't take, from what Scott is right now, very long to do this apparently.
And it would take away, you know, any advantage, I mean, of having Beacon do it would basically, they'd make money off of it, but, you know, it would cost the county as much as what we would collect probably in fees. So there'd be no advantage.
We scrapped that idea. We checked into it, but it's not
feasible.
Yeah.
Does the new technology with Google Earth Pro limit how many people are gonna need this now? Because you can go on Google Earth Pro and probably pull up any parcel and...
They can't pull up parcel boundaries. Now, we can internally look at GIS data on Google Earth, and somebody who wants to purchase it can bring it into Google Earth. There's that advantage. But parcel boundaries, unless somebody at the state is disseminating data that they shouldn't be, you know, the state's the only other entity besides us that really has this data. And so, they could certainly go look at a property, but they won't have the parcel boundaries. But, you know, as I said, I think as we go forward, these prices will continue to come down. More and more counties are probably seeing the pressure to bring their prices down. But there's still a substantial cost to maintaining a GIS. Whether it be a department or whether it be a vendor that does your GIS like the planning districts, there's cost to that, and it's not required, you know, department or required to supply that to the taxpayers, but it is certainly a benefit. Any other questions? Otherwise, that's what
Is it about the same amount of work to do each of these categories now that they're all $500 versus when it was $2,500 and we're reducing it?
Yeah, it really doesn't change the amount of work for me to add attributes or not add attributes, to do just city parcels or just rural parcels. You know, it was really just a matter of kind of looking at what everybody across the state on average was doing. And this is just going to make it to everybody gets the attributes whether they want them or not. They get all the county and city parcels whether they need them or not. It's the cheaper price. So
and does it include addressing too? So it links with different addresses?
The parcels do have addresses for those parcels that have an address on it. The address points layer, that's really more of an infrastructure and 911 addressing layer. So in addition to the parcels, it's going to identify what kind of address point that is. So is it a rural residence? Is it a farm with a residence? Is it a utility tower? You know, those kinds of things. There's a little more additional information that goes along with the address, but then it also has what's called parsing, so that if the organization looking to purchase it needs that address broken up by, you know, the 13th and then Avenue and then Southeast instead of all in one kind of thing, you know, they might have a need for that. And so, I haven't had a lot of requests for the address points. I mean, address roads and the parcels are probably,
About it.
yeah, the
Well, I just wasn't
most
sure,
requested.
is there a need for any kind of disclaimer, because we're pretty darn good at accuracy, but we just have those handful of error points that we're always fixing on our end. Do we need to put a disclaimer on
Well, I
that?
think that's in the ordinance already,
Okay.
but we can revisit that and take a look at it,
I just don't
I
want
mean,
somebody doing some big project and maybe they find one of the few that's left that we have to fix.
understandable, yeah, and I got that report from the state yesterday, again, just, you know, tweaking things, getting a little bit higher and higher, and we're still at about 99.5%, so. There's about 30 or 40
Problems.
issues out there that yet are just waiting to be resolved, so, yeah.
Well, it simplifies it a little bit, and some of, you know, what prompted this is, correct me if I'm wrong, is that you had requests where they wanted data, but they would only concentrate on 2 or 3 or 4 townships, didn't need the whole county, and so the cost was just like, no, wait a minute, you know, we don't really need the whole thing, but our price structure, this way, it kind of simplifies it.
Yeah, it
And whether
just
you're
makes it
providing-
cheaper for anybody.
And whether you're providing it first time or second time, third time follow-up and stuff, it's pretty much the same amount.
Yeah, there's no need to be, you know, if somebody has been a couple years lapsed since they bought the data, normally we'd have to go back and they'd have to, go back, pay that couple of years of maintenance, $1,000, you know, to get back current. Now, it's just basically at the end of your 12 months, if you don't buy it the next time you want it, it's another $500. If that's good for 12 months, then it's another $500.
Yeah.
And
if-
so, they can
for
buy
their
it every
purpose-
5 years, they can buy it every year, whatever they want, it just depends on their purpose. And we get some that have done renewals essentially every year, and we have some that go every 5 years, or buy it once and they're done, you know. I don't have time to chase them down and hound them, do you wanna renew your stuff? It's just if they call back and wanna do it, that's fine.
Is it safe to assume these new prices would go into effect January 1, or would
Well,
you want them to go?
so the only reason I'm proposing it now instead of January 1 is I do have this request from the local business owner that has the subscription to Beacon and would like to purchase the parcels for $200 in addition to a $300 Beacon subscription. Otherwise, I told him I could not give him a discount until I got this approved.
Sure.
He'd have to pay the $2,500, and he didn't feel that was reasonable, and I agreed. So he's looking to buy it for $200 as soon as he can. If you wanna wait till January 1, I can tell him that. Otherwise, if you wanna approve it now, we can put it, I don't know how that works, but.
Either way, is fine.
Do we have to have a motion to approve the new
Yeah.
changes?
Mhm.
And then, what, if we did it, middle month, if we did October 15th, is that a November 15th, is that a problem, or?
If you can't do it right now and you need to wait till November 15th, then I'll just tell him that. Just whatever you
We
can.
pass it today.
It'll be effective immediately.
Okay. So,
I would make a motion that we adopt the new pricing structure for the GIS forms,
Make it effective now.
effective as soon as it's passed, yeah. Is that?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion by Sutton, a second by Weeds to approve the new rate change on the GIS price listing, effective immediately. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for working through that.
Here we go, lowering prices.
Discount
Serving the public.
Black Friday early.
Next item, we have the county burn ban.
Mine's here?
I think so.
No mice.
So, anybody have any information on the county burn ban?
Should I call him?
Huh?
Should I call him and ask if there's any?
Yeah, I guess, I don't know, I thought we were looking at the new,
He had drafted some new
Right.
ordinances
Right.
or rules, and I just thought, as long as it's sitting out there, we might as well either act on it rather than wait till the next time a burn ban has to go in place. And I know we had to pitch one off for couple suggestions to maybe simplify a little bit.
Hey, Scott, you got a minute?
You make it quick, Brother, we go Hazmansville with that dangerous.
All right, we'll just catch up with you the next time.
Okay, sorry.
Yo, you're good, thanks.
I guess we maybe put it on for next week.
Okay, burn ban is up for discussion due to an emergency
Anhydrous
at
bill.
Hydrosville.
Yeah, I'd like to get his input before we act on it.
Right.
Well, especially whether or not he's met with the gentleman yet.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we want motion to table?
Do we need a motion?
No action?
Okay.
I'll move that we table it until next week.
Second.
Got a motion by Sutton, a second by Weiss to table the county burn ban till the following Tuesday. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, we have, Dirk called in, he is not feeling well, so Kendall, is going to go through the right-of-ways for Northern Electric and Northern Valley and Telcom.
Good morning.
Good
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
How we doing?
Good morning.
You're the replacement for Dirk, I understand.
Well,
Well,
I guess
they
today.
didn't want me to say it that way.
Today. Yeah.
Fill in.
Yep, just got some right of ways he wants to get approved. One is for a cell tower that's going up on, Road 16, just north of 13.
Okay.
And that's
What's the
Telecom?
roadway?
That's, no, that's actually south of Columbia,
Right.
south of Columbia.
That one went through the zoning board,
Yep.
the tower.
Or west of Tacoma, not roadway, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's on Tacoma Park Road.
Yep, correct. I was thinking, yeah.
And who's that by?
And that is going to be, who's it gonna be?
Northern Electric?
I think it's Northern Valley Air Communication.
Well, there's Telecom too. We got two for Northern Electric, one for Northern Valley, and two for Telecom.
Yep. K&H Electric.
I'll move it.
Second.
Got a motion by Sutton, a second by Piker to approve the right-of-way for the tower. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next one is gonna be for, it used to be a CenturyLink or whatever. And that's, they're just updating their fiber.
Where's that one at?
That is gonna be the Butler Road, going around by Joby Acres, 14.
Okay.
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Kipley, second by Piker to approve the right-of-way for Northern Electric. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And then the last one is by K&H. They're gonna be doing some boring. They're gonna bore under Road 23 and along 18, down by Slides, if you guys know where Slides is down there.
I'll move it. Second.
Moved by Piker, second by Sutton to approve the boring for the network down on 18 and 23.
Correct.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. That it?
Yep.
Okay.
Department update, everything's good?
I don't know about good.
There's no one.
That's good.
Yeah.
No, just out blading, getting blading going, you know, some of the roads, being it's been wet, and farmers gotta unload their stuff on the road, trying to just make it so it's safe yet. Paving's done, not paving anymore, too cold. And mowing, trying to keep up with the mowing, I don't know if they'll get done this week or next week anyway. And then, two bridges that are going in, they're getting the back wall support, so they'll be setting, precast on top pretty quick, and then we just gotta backfill and get the road open again,
Very good.
so.
And those two bridges are down southeast.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. One's from the Anston overflow, and then the other one's on the Mog, between 16 and 14.
Those are both Holloway bridges, right?
Yep, both Holloway bridges.
Very good.
Yeah, they get them in fast.
Any activity up on the Elm
And they started up there?
Oh, yeah, they started up there. They've been doing dirt work and stuff. I've been gone for 2 weeks, sorry, but I was gonna go up there today and see
You're
what was
catching up
going.
too then?
Yes, yeah, so,
Yeah.
but I don't know, did you guys get a bunch of rain last week and stuff?
Got
Some,
much.
couple inches.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Inch and eight.
but nothing, really downpours or anything like that, just
Slow, steady rain.
Yeah.
But I noticed when I got back, the ditches are full of water.
Things are charged up now.
Oh, man. And I bet the combines are having fun out in the
Yeah.
fields, and the grain cars.
Take a break.
That's why they're unloading on the road.
Yes, exactly, I know, yep,
They're dragging mud out on the road.
Yep.
yeah.
but we expect that, so, nothing new.
Yep.
Cool, well, thank you.
Thanks, Kendall.
Thanks,
And
Kendall.
do you have the papers to sign for the right-of-ways?
Yeah, we'll take these and put them in your mailbox when we're done.
All right, thanks
Thank you.
Kathy.
Okay.
Thanks.
You guys have a good day.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
too.
Thanks, Kendall.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be around, I need to talk to you.
Can you sign plats for dirt? No? We got 4 of them or something. Oh, deal.
Okay.
Well, looks like that takes care of our agenda items, unless somebody else, something else for the agenda, but we can move on to Jeanette. You wanna take care of your stuff?
Approve last week's minute, of October 26, 2021.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Sutton, second by Kipling, to approve the general meeting minutes of October 26th. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Claims,
Move.
Moved by Fikert, second by Weiss, to approve claims. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
HR report.
I'll move that one.
Second.
Moved by Kipling, second by Sutton, to approve the HR report. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Solid waste fee.
Move. Second.
Moved by Sutton, second by Weiss, to approve the solid waste fee. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Fat truck trailer purchase.
Move. Second.
Got a motion by Sutton, second by Weiss, to approve the fat truck trailer purchase. I noticed the invoice, one was for 11 something, the other was 10.5, but there was a $500 down payment made on the invoice.
Got to hold it maybe?
I don't know, I just noticed that
Yeah.
there was a difference in the pricing. One was the 11,000, the other was 10,540 or something. It was like $500 difference. Evidently, there was a $500 deposit made.
I would talk to, mines, but I believe so, yeah.
That's the way I read it according to the invoices I see in the thing. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Out-of-state travel request. That's to go pick up the trailer from.
Move.
Yeah.
I don't think we need a motion, don't we?
Our policy manual has
It's
out-of-state
out-of-state.
travel, needs board approval.
I guess I'm curious as to why they need travel request for 2 people.
Just the way the policy is, if you're traveling out of state, it requires board approval, in-state, just on file with the
Well,
office.
he's saying 2
But
people
2
versus
people.
1.
Yeah, I'm saying 2 individuals, 2 people,
To go get the trailer.
rather than one
Where's
person.
it at?
Oh, I don't think it makes a
It's
cost.
in Nebraska.
Madrid, something like that.
In Madrid, Nebraska.
Total mileage is
938.
938. So,
Are we saving that much money by going that far to go get it?
yeah, there's bids in there. They were substantially, well, not
The
substantially.
3 bids were 11, 16, and 22, I think.
I'm curious as to what the cost would have been if we had them deliver it versus what we're gonna pay to send 2 people down there to get it.
Let me look at that, yeah, 'cause the other one, I would be confident would have been delivered here.
One bid, was $11,040. That was the one that they accepted out of Nebraska,
11,040,
11,040.
thank you.
There was a local bid of 12,918.
And that was not a fixed price,
That was up.
moving price.
Well, it
That was-
increased since it was quoted.
It was quoted at 12,450, and the price has gone up to 12,918, which is what they put on their bid. And then there was another bid for 22,975. Those were the 3 bids that came in.
So about
Spread.
$1,900 between the,
1878, what's it's gonna cost us for 2 people for 2 days to drive 900 something miles and stay overnight?
The request is in here, but there's no dollar amount as far as, it's just
38 miles, 112 for meals, and I can't remember if there was a hotel.
And overnight lodging.
I don't know if I've got that.
Get a rough guess what that costs?
440 if we did the mileage reimbursement.
Okay, $440 for the mileage.
112 for the meals. And then what would the?
One motel room for overnight.
Lodging one night, mileage 938, meals are 112. I don't have an estimated cost on here, but that's kind of what they, so you got,
Say about $125 for a room, ballpark.
Times 250.
Yeah.
What are 2 people worth? 16 hours.
I don't know if it's two
I don't know
employees or
if
just one
they'll
employee
get
or.
paid, mine's just salaried, or who's on the request.
There's no individuals
The first one
listed.
to get, he gave, but it was changed too.
Yeah, we grabbed the updated one.
Who's gonna chase anhydrous tanks and Mike's gonna do on?
Patty?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's 2 county employees or if somebody's just riding along or, it doesn't really state that, so
When were they gonna leave? What's the date on it for when
I
they
think
were
it's
gonna go?
open. I think it said open. If I remember right.
2 people, date open.
Maybe we should get an answer from Mike, as to, Scott Mites, as to what, if he asked about what it's gonna cost to have it brought up here, delivered up here.
Check your
What's
motion.
the-
This is the first one. We
What's
have the updated one. There. The
Looks
one
to me
that
like
says
$1,000
open.
bucks, it won't be less than $1,000 by the time they go down and back, 2 people.
That's the updated one. This is the first one.
So this is the updated one.
Yeah, I'm sure the answer's gonna be, well, we got the money.
Yeah, and here he's got.
Well, you got what mileage,
So this one-
roughly about
This
450
one is the
bucks
one
for
you-
mileage.
Yeah, but this one he's
I didn't know if that was
Oh.
one way or both.
That's
I didn't
938
know,
for both,
this
I'm
is
sure
the one
round
that
trip.
I.
The grid,
Yeah,
Nebraska,
about
Oh,
42
yeah.
cents a mile,
Yeah.
so
So I
yeah.
thought.
450, and you got 125 for motel, you're up to 575.
The one that he.
Meals are 112,
So you're at 675, roughly $700 gets you.
plus labor, plus the cost of
Yeah.
labor.
But if it's salaried person going down, it won't affect.
Exactly.
Now, if we're taking an hourly person along, that would raise the price also, but I guess we don't know that part of the equation as far as who's riding or if this is,
Yeah, but if that's, was delivered locally, it would take them an hour.
but the difference in the bid was what, 1,700 or?
1878.
I wonder if they checked with specialty. Well, you're on the east side of town.
It's not worth a ton of the bids, nothing came from them. So I don't know.
I guess my question procedurally is, did we approve to purchase the trailer?
Yes, we did.
We did, so now we're just contending the travel request.
Yeah, so we'd have to go back and amend the vote.
Negates, yeah.
But
All right.
the trailer or a trailer?
Well, we approved the
It's-
purchase of the trailer.
You awarded low quote to, on that trailer,
On a trailer, yeah.
which did not include delivery.
The issue right now is what is the cost to go get it, and we've established the cost up to the point of who the second person is, if it's an hourly wage, or if it's somebody that's just riding along, that's the part we don't know.
Yeah.
He did,
Stipulated.
the second request did have names on it.
Oh, well, I didn't see that, I guess.
This one here. I don't know if they're, like, cert members or volunteers.
I don't know them.
Oh, Scott's retired sheriff's department.
These are,
Okay, now I know what you're talking about.
Scott Calder, Kelly.
Yeah, he volunteers.
Oh, Kelly's this one.
Oh, so do you volunteer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's
He
no
does
cost.
Scott does transport
Transport, yeah.
for the sheriff's office.
So they're not getting paid for their time,
That I don't know.
He might for transport time.
but she would be.
Is this the most recent? Because this has a date on it now, and they're gonna go get it.
Yeah, that's enough.
The date of pickup is 11/5, 11/6.
Assuming one room is probably gonna be sufficient then.
Yep.
All right, let it go, fine, thanks.
So, we had a motion from Sutton and a second from Weiss on that, on the travel. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Which one?
That was easy.
On the sheet, can I see the sheet?
The $500 travel was more than the the cost of the trailer.
Yep.
The opinion, or did you want the
I
updated
just
one?
need the one that you put yesterday on. Is this the updated?
Just added that.
That's updated, this is the one that's signed.
I don't think I circled down below either, did I, Rachel?
Oh, no, I'll hand it to you.
I'm like them both, because I don't know which one.
Okay, let's move on to the next thing, Jeanette.
All right, auditor's report of account.
Move it.
Okay.
Moved by Kifley, second by Weiss, to approve the auditor's report of account. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Lease.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Kifley, second by Sutton, to approve the lease. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Sheriff's report.
Move. Second.
Moved by Sutton, second by Weiss, to approve the sheriff's report. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Claim assignments.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Kifley, second by Weiss, to authorize the auditor to sign the claim assignments. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All deal.
That's all for Jeanette. Any other thing to come before the commission as far as agenda items or discussion?
Just a yes or a no.
Pat has something, I'm
Must be
gonna grab it.
If you
Okay.
approve
Well, we're
it
waiting
yes,
for
just
Pat.
circle yes like we did.
Mike, have you heard any more on the gun range? I'm getting people asking me, and I don't know what to tell them. Can we get an update from them, or maybe on the agenda sometime?
Actually, I anticipate they're gonna ask to be on the agenda in about 2 weeks.
Okay.
They already did.
Okay.
Oh, they are? What date is it?
Let me.
Isn't it the 9th? I think that's the one where we have the downstairs.
You bet.
Yes, they are on for next week. And the question was, they did ask actually to move our meeting down to the community room. I have it tentatively scheduled for up here, 'cause they have a presentation they can put on the TV.
You want an
But they were
extra-
thinking there might be significant public interest in the conversation.
Sure.
In case there is, we have that option.
So November the
Next-
9th.
Next Tuesday.
Tuesday,
Okay.
yep, they'll be here.
Thank you. Just
You won't have to
wanna
wait.
let people
Initial
know.
update
There you go.
one.
They're calling.
That's the one that's got the dates on it and stuff, the updated.
Well, he's already done.
That's the initial one is all, right here.
And then we also got that letter, just a follow-up from the sheriff's office, and I think we should seriously consider trying that reception center, but I just don't know that we should move everybody until we know it's gonna work. So I think we should go ahead and authorize them to do it in whatever space works for them in the basement temporarily. And if it's around, if it's a huge success, then we can look at a more permanent home. But there's no use on them waiting on us when we know it won't work for vets and HR and everybody to move. But if we give them what they need as far as, hey, give us a proposal for the basement, make it work for 6 months or a year, let's see what happens, and if it's great, then we'll look at a permanent home for the program. That would be my suggestion.
Your office over there, is that ADA accessible, being that the narrow hallway, isn't that the one side does not work for ADA?
Come in the east side it would, but if you came in my side over here,
does not.
it wouldn't be.
That's what I would thought when they were talking about it. I thought there was a topic years ago when Gary and this came up about moving, there was some ADA questions about that. And if you're gonna have 2.5 people in the offices, you're gonna have desks, is there gonna be enough room for a wheelchair to turn around in that space? Because you're gonna have 2.5 people over there. I guess that's where I think this discussion came about when we talked about moving that one other time. The ADA it wasn't compliant with the amount of furniture in the hallway. That's the way I understood it, but now somebody might correct me on that.
well, the hallway, and you go down that hallway area, and then once you get to what is currently her office, by the time you put desk and any files and stuff in there, it's pretty limited what you can maneuver in there.
How many spots are the sheriff's office looking at for like desks for the kids? I know they talked about doing the tutoring and stuff. How much room are they looking for?
Well, that's my concern. I don't
Would they
think...
go in there? And
Who's utilizing that conference room right now? That's that odd one that's in the hallway between the sheriff's office and the annex there. Is that,
that,
That's the state's attorney?
yes, that's the state's attorney, yeah.
they got somebody currently officed in there, or are they using that for a conference room?
I think they
Just
just use it as a
conference.
conference room.
That was the original spot they were thinking. After the break room, it went to conference room for a report center,
Yeah,
or I mean, the reception center, but not the report center, because you're talking the two different things, where
Mhm.
the one you would only be using periodically if you have a case like that, whereas the evening report center, you'd have multiple kids. There's 4 on home detention, last time I looked, so you could potentially have that many kids reporting. But that'll go up and down. But I just don't, I think it's a great idea. I think we should jump on it while we have the momentum. I just think, put the ball back in their court, explore the basement, which piece of it, maybe to the north, where old planning and zoning is, maybe to the south, where teen court is. I mean, there's things that you can move a little more easily in the basement right now without permanently moving folks until we know that it's gonna be a success. But they're right, you don't wanna lose all the partners that you have on board right now by just dragging our feet on it, like we do with the burn ban and other things. Let's just do something.
Erica, are you proposing that they utilize your space
Yeah,
and
if
move
the
downstairs?
sheriff's office, I mean, if it works for them to use my office, I don't care. If I have to move, I'll move. I'm flexible.
I guess that would be up to the square footage again. That's always been my thing, is the square footage. Is it gonna be feasible? If that works, fine. But I just, I'm not defending anybody here. I'm just looking at the range when we do something that we start on, and all of a sudden ADA says, oh, you can't do that, you can't make this work for room. I guess maybe Judy should be involved in this discussion, because she knows that in and out like anybody's business would be, whether that would be suitable or not.
Well, maybe, like Rachel said, maybe just put the ball back in their court, have them explore the current HR location, it's easier to move one office than
Mhm.
jockey around 3.
just leave the SO out of the conversation,
Yeah,
see if that works.
and do this for a 6-month trial period and see if it's working, and if we find we need more space, or if it's not working, or response time isn't quick enough, if we have an issue, at least we've got those things to back up the logic between moving.
Do you want me to reach out to them, and do we need a motion for that or anything, or that we support the program, or do we just...
Maybe
Support
let them,
programs, just logistically.
let them explore those 2 options and see if
work with Judy?
either the old planning and zoning location in the basement or HR would work for them.
Okay. You wanna touch, Ross, would you do the same? I can touch.
I'll talk to Ernest, he mentioned it this morning.
Chelsea, tell them we're open, we just don't want that space
Yeah.
Like the idea.
disrupted right now. Thank you.
Anything else for discussion? Pat? You wanna give us a little update on the IT?
Yeah,
You can have a chair, I mean, we don't...
That would
You don't
insinuate
want-
he's gonna be
I
here a
don't
while.
I don't know if you thought you were gonna hit and run or what.
no, I think we're in a pretty good spot. You know, we took the opportunity to, not only get us back up and going as close to 100% as possible right now, a couple things lingering, but, we also took the opportunity to, we didn't want to go back necessarily to where we were on everything. We kind of moved forward on some of the stuff that we kind of had on our roadmap to make this better going forward. So that's been done, like we've ordered some additional storage, so our backups will be more current. We won't have to worry about filling up storage space anymore to where we can't have, current backups. Some of the things that are lingering, we probably got maybe a half a dozen or less computers that still need to be, reloaded with Windows 10 and reconfigured and stuff. And some of those are in locations like in the basement of the, the deputies area in the sheriff's office. And they don't really use their computers anyway, so they haven't said anything, I just know that there's pink sticky notes on their screens that they still need to be loaded. I know something we just got across, I think we've got all the emails going, I think the group emails are going, I think several of the scan to email things on the copiers are fixed, but, Mike can echo me on this, but some of our copiers that we bought a few years ago, we bought on like lease returns, and they're of the variety of, they don't, in the operating system of the printer, if you will, doesn't have the security settings available to configure for Office 365. So we're looking at ways of getting to where, maybe we create a Gmail account. We can send out of a Gmail account because it doesn't use the certificate settings that the newer ones would have. So we think we have a way around that. I think for the most part, people can scan, they can use the DM Connect, they can scan to a folder, they can right click on it and email it anyway, so, it's a little bit change of procedure for people, but I think for the most part, I think everybody's up and running. I have reached out to Erica's office a couple times to see if there's anything I can help with as far as, going forward on ExecuTime and Encode 10, and I think that's your timeline and you're moving forward and stuff, so. Other than that, we had, during the incident, we upgraded our firewall. And it was a firewall that was purchased by Paul 3 years ago or whatever. None of us know how to program it, that's why Sean and Corey had hired Bytespeed to program it. Everything's working on the firewall with the exception of VPN. We had to purchase the licensing they bought didn't accommodate the number of VPN people that we have, so we had to purchase some additional licensing for that. So that's configured, we still got to test. It looks like there's still an issue with it, and we think it's potentially on the NBC side, maybe blocking those ports, so I got to work with NBC to maybe get that. And then that would be the last thing as far as, working away from work. Everybody, since we're in Office 365 now, can do all their emails and all their documents and everything away from work, but as far as some of the other things, get in and look at some of the stuff internal on the shared drives and stuff that's not capable yet. But other than that, unless anyone's got any specific questions.
A few weeks ago, we were approached by a constituent that had a complaint that one of our agendas wasn't on our website. And I don't know how it slipped through the cracks, but is there a way of allowing Kathy's department to post that agenda to make sure it's done? Because apparently, according to SCCL, if we maintain a website, we're required to have our agenda on there.
Okay.
And as far as I know, there's only been one that's been missed, but, it's still one that we shouldn't have missed, so.
Yeah, I can look at that and see if, we'd have to get them access to the website, and
Okay.
there's a lot of things you can mess up in there as well as
Sure.
post up there. But I don't see a problem with that. I think as far as the videos, I know the one was done in Frederick, one was done in Groton, so I don't think we have video of those, but I think Corey has got the other ones ripped and ready to be looked at as far as before he signs and pushes the videos out to the website. I think they're close, but yeah, we can look at that and I can work with Kathy. I know we talked before with Kathy's group about maybe them doing the video too, which we have special software that we purchased to do that, which we could probably transfer, the licenses over here, but.
I guess I'm more concerned about the agenda than
Yeah,
the video or stuff.
Sure.
Because when we do the remote meetings, we don't have the capability to have the video on anyway,
Yep, right.
or the go-to meetings, so.
Yeah, like I said, we can definitely look into that. I'm hoping now that we're kinda almost getting back into like normal day-to-day stuff, instead of scramble mode, that hopefully we don't miss that again, but I can definitely sit down with Kathy and that.
Thank you.
My question was if departments have problems, just basic day-to-day printer stuff they need configured, right now, are they putting in work orders for that? Or are you just periodically stopping in each department to see, hey, you got any concerns today, or how does that work?
They haven't been putting in work orders. That's, before our incident, that was something I was high on, getting our help desk light stuff going, but I haven't really rolled that out yet, and then through the scramble for a few weeks now. So I'm hoping to get that going, but right now, most of them have my cell phone somehow, but most of them just call me or catch me when I'm coming through, or they send me an email or call my desk. So as far as I know, that or I hear someone told somebody else and they're like, hey, you might want to swing by over here. So I think we're getting the things in a timely manner. I don't have anyone calling and hollering at me anymore, so.
Well, I'm just wondering if, you know, until you get that rolled out, if we could get, you know, maybe you set aside a day every 2 or 3 weeks between you, Corey, and Sean to visit the departments and just say, hey, 'cause some of them will mention it and then they stop because they don't know priority-wise, maybe I shouldn't be bugging them all the time because they know you're busy. You got a lot of departments and a lot of locations you gotta go out to, but
Right.
it would be nice, because otherwise you know, then behind the scenes, they're kinda like, well, I need to work on this and this, but I can't get IT to, and I think you'll keep ahead of it if you just had one day maybe even just
Sure.
one day a month where you guys divide out the departments and say, hey, and once you get this up and going, it'll work better, but
Sure.
for now, that'd be
Yep.
great.
That can happen.
Any other questions for Pat?
Thanks, Pat. Yeah, I think Corey's got your Surface about ready to, he's gonna bring back. Okay.
He won't use it anyway.
Yeah, I will use it. I use mine. I can have it set.
You don't use yours either, huh?
Is there anything else on the agenda or, you know, discussion for the commission?
Thanks, Pat.
Yeah.
I would entertain a motion to go into exec for personnel. Erica?
Move it.
And security.
And security.
You want that?
Second.
Yeah.
We got a motion by Sutton, a second by Weiss to go into exec for personnel and for security. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are in exec. We're out of exec, and through that on personnel, Rachel Kipley has been promoted to fair manager / fairgrounds assistant. And effective immediately with her resignation of commissioner January 1st of 2022.
Right. Okay.
That conclude that. There was anything else from exec, that was the only decision that was made.
Okay.
So do we need to vote on that?
We need to make a motion now,
Okay.
I'll make a motion to do exactly that.
Second.
Motion by Sutton, second by Weiss, for the motion of Rachel to accept the
Same thing as
position.
well.
That appointment.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And I'll abstain.
Motion carries.
Congratulations, good luck.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Fairgrounds assistant.
Assistant, yeah. Fair manager / fairground assistant.
The library meeting tonight, is anybody gonna attend that, or how do we wanna?
I'm not able to.
I've got people who coming.
We do need to disclose the wage in the minutes.
The wage will be, $65,000
Annual,
annually,
okay.
and a level 2
PTO.
PT?
PTO.
PTO,
Level 2 PTO. okay.
Vacation.
Okay.
okay. What do we do with the meeting tonight? Do we have to, can we write them a letter, or do we have to attend, or what?
They just requested that somebody from the county commission be present at their board meeting, to discuss the funding. That's all it was. You can write them a letter, I guess. It's up to you guys what you wanna do.
I can draft a letter. Should I draft a letter to him?
Perfect.
I'm not able to attend.
I can't either
I can't.
because we're gonna be sort of cattle.
Can you send me the contact info and I'll draft a letter? Or was that in the email?
They just called.
Oh, they did, okay.
Yeah.
Can we just call them this afternoon and tell them?
Yeah, or, it sounds like the city manager was gonna be present as well, so someone could just visit with Joe too, probably.
So, could you just call over and say that the county will be drafting a letter to the response, so they know that why we're not attending tonight, just to kind of give them a heads up,
Yeah, I'll let them know.
and then we'll draft a letter.
Sounds good. I'll have it for next week.
Do you want that? Is that,
Sure. Oh, yeah.
okay. Anything else coming for the commission?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Moved by Sutton, second by Thacker to adjourn, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.